The idea that there are consequences to actions, I think, is massively overlooked in today's society. Unfortunately, I think especially today's youth is very entitled and very self-absorbed, and it's all about me. And they're behaving badly and not recognizing that there are consequences to actions. That, doing the right thing is a blurred line depending on who you ask or how you were brought up. But you need to take responsibility for the choices that you make before you make them. And whatever the outcome is, like there's an old expression that says, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. And I think that's a really relative thing to keep in mind in just your everyday life, because the simple act of texting while you're driving could end up causing you to be in jail for a while, or for the rest of your life if you kill somebody. And there's many other examples of that. There's people that have sex without protection, and then the girl gets pregnant and they expect her to have an abortion, but they never talked about that. And that's a huge assumption. That's really irresponsible. If you don't ask, you have no right to ask her to get an abortion because you didn't wear a condom. It's her body and she gets to do whatever she wants with it. Or the kid from Penn State that was killed because he fell down the steps and he was drunk, and his friends didn't bother to say, hey, we need to help this guy, and put him first. Put someone else before them, and now there's major consequences to those actions. They're being prosecuted and they may go to jail, right? They may go to jail and their friend died because they didn't act responsibly and recognize that there are consequences to actions enough to do the right thing. Don't be selfish. Don't be self-absorbed. Take responsibility for the things you do. Think before you act, like impulse control, right? You really need to recognize that you can't just do whatever you want and that there are no consequences to it. No matter what you do, you have free will and you have choice, and you need to act responsibly and take responsibility for the things you do, because there are consequences to actions. And when you're not responsible and you behave badly, the consequences are frequently much worse than you're willing to pay the price for. Actually, the biggest example of that is the Penn State kid. What I'm trying to say to you is that life will be much happier and much easier, and you'll be much more likable and have an easier time with relationships when you recognize that there are consequences to your actions, and you need to behave responsibly, and you need to really think before you act, so that then you're not trying to hide things and cover up things after you've already made a bad mistake. Look, we all make mistakes, right? And we learn from our mistakes. Sometimes it's healthy to make mistakes, but you don't want to make a mistake that's going to ruin the rest of your life. So I'm just trying to caution you. Think about it. There are consequences to actions, and make sure that you're behaving in a way that you're okay with what the consequences to your actions are.